Today we're looking again at parallelism. This is lesson 2, and I strongly suggest that you watch lesson 1 before you watch lesson 2. It's a very difficult topic, this, but interesting, and it helps you make your English much clearer, and it will help you with your comparisons, your conjunctions. Last lesson we looked at lists. Lists have to be, items in a list have to be in parallel, which means they have to be of the same kind of structure. Maybe a list of nouns, a list of adverbs, a list of clauses, a list of prepositional phrases, a list of participle phrases, all sorts of things it could be. Now have a look at the first one. I'd rather go swimming than running. Now you might think that go is being used with swimming and it's modifying running. However, when we have a comparison, the x and the y should be equal. You should think of that. That's really the main reason, it's the main thing that parallelism is about. You're trying to make the two elements on both sides of a conjunction equal. When they're unequal, when one's a gerund and one's an infinitive, or one's an adverb and one's an adjective or a noun, it sounds weird, and it sounds much more beautiful and persuasive when you use two elements on both sides which are equal. So I would actually add the going here. The go. I'd rather go swimming than go running. And, it kind of makes sense, because if you say I'd rather go swimming than running around the park, I think anyone could see that that sounds wrong. I'd rather go swimming than running around the park. No, I'd rather go swimming than go running around the park. And it's just because you've got x must equal y, yeah? They must be of the same class in order to make a comparison. And so they must both be nouns, or both be adjectives, or both be verb phrases. Go swimming than go running. Okay? Have a look at the next one. I like learning grammar as much as, here's our kind of like than, the part in the middle of the scales which weighs up both sides, and this side should equal this side. I like learning grammar as much as you. And this is really ambiguous. When you think long and hard about it, we could actually be making a different comparison than perhaps I am. If I say I like learning grammar as much as you, then you might think that I like this, learning grammar, let's call that A, as much as this, you. Now, that sounds like, I like learning grammar just as much as I like you, which is a little bit odd. That's not really the intended meaning here. What I mean is I like learning grammar as much as you like learning grammar. Now, we don't have to write all of that. We can replace it with an auxiliary verb. And we do. We just write do. I like learning grammar as much as you like learning grammar. And the like learning grammar is represented by that auxiliary verb. So we need that auxiliary verb. Because it's present simple, I like, it's present simple over here. You do, yeah? If it was I liked learning grammar as much as you did, then that would still all be parallel. The did would correspond to the liked. And it would represent the learning grammar still. I liked learning grammar as a boy as much as you liked learning grammar as a child, yeah? So as much as you did. Okay, so we really have to have that auxiliary verb. I hope that's clear. Look at the next sentence. He is better than any boy in his class. This is a little odd, and it's maybe not connected to parallelism, but maybe it is. If we say he is better than any boy in the class, that means we're comparing him with himself, because he is a boy. We can see that from the pronoun. And so we actually need to add a word here, than any other boy in his class, and then we're comparing him to all the other boys in his class, and the comparison, it works, it's not illogical. And so we really need that other in this one, but I think it's a little bit different from the other parallel structures we're looking at. Have a look at more X than Y now. He is more angry than in shock. Now I hope you can see perhaps from the last lesson where we looked at the fact that these have to be similar words. This is an adjective, this is a prepositional phrase, preposition and noun, and so really we should just change this to shocked. He is more angry than shocked. But of course we could have a clause here. He is more angry with me than shocked by my behaviour. Angry with than shocked by. And then that would still be parallel. We'd have a clause. He is more angry with me than shocked by my behaviour. Okay? We just got to make sure that it's equal on both sides, that these are comparable, that they are, only nouns are comparable with nouns. You know, nouns are only comparable with nouns, and gerunds are only comparable with other gerunds, and so keep the words the same. Okay, correlative conjunctions. I'm just going to look at not only X but also Y, because I hope to show you that this is actually very confusing. And they certainly test this in a number of different exams. Okay, let's keep things simple. I ate not only steak but also pork. I'm pleased to say that this is correct, because this verb here modifies both steak and pork if we use it on this side of the not only. Okay, if it's on this side of the not only, it's all okay and we get a correct. However, if we say I not only ate steak, then the ate is only modifying the steak, and so here we need to say but also I ate pork. Yeah, I not only ate steak but also ate pork. You'd need to put the verb in again here, because it's not referring to pork here now that it's after if only. Okay, so this one is wrong, but we could make it right by saying that, but also ate. I not only ate steak but also ate pork, and I hope you can see that now we have not only ate steak but also ate pork. It looks very equal, like we've got everything on the right sides of the conjunction. Okay, Fred is not only a good cook but also a fine painter. Let me just remind you that's correct. Okay, not only a good cook but also a fine painter. Now this is correct because we've got Fred on this side of the not only, and so Fred refers to a good cook and it refers to a fine painter. All good, yeah, that's all excellent. However, if we look at the next one, we've put the not only at the start, and so now Fred only refers to a good cook. By the way, please remember the inversion that's necessary after not only, after negative adverbials. So it only modifies a good cook now, Fred, and to make this one correct we'd have to say not only is Fred a good cook but also Fred is a fine painter. But of course it's very wordy, and I actually prefer always, if it's possible, this one. Fred is not only a good cook but also a fine painter. It sounds much better. Look at the last example, and I'm just going to use A and B to try and make it clearer. I think it helps to think of things almost algebraically. But I went not only with A but also B. This is incorrect, and to make it correct we can do a couple of different things, but I'm just going to show you one thing. The reason why it's wrong is because the with only modifies A and you want the with to modify B as well, and so to make it correct just get rid of it there and put it over here. I went with not only A but also B, and then you can see that it's equal. It's not only A but also B, and then we've made that one correct. Look at the next one, which is also wrong. I went with not only A but also with B. So we got two withs, but we don't need two withs in this one because the with is in the right place to modify A and B here. So if we just get rid of that one, we make this one correct. I went with not only A but also B. You can see that it's the same then as the top one. So you must change those kinds of sentences. Now, I'm going to continue in the next lesson, not with correlative conjunctions, but with coordinating conjunctions, and, but, or. You've already seen them used in lists earlier, but I want to show them in independent clauses in the next lesson. So please come back to study some more about parallelism in lesson 3. It will help your style, and yeah, I think it helps people speak with a nice kind of royal academic form of English. So if you're interested in that, please come back for lesson 3. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them under the video, and I hope to see you all soon.